You should never quit. Really? And if you quit, is that a failure? Well, yes, at least this is what the society says. And they are somewhere right. But how? Let's start from the very beginning. Whatever you do, whenever you do it, normally things go like this. Whether it's your new job, whether you are trying to learn something new, take anything you are seriously working towards. At first, everything seems to be going well. You are learning new interesting things. The world is a happy place for you. And then slowly and gradually, what comes? The dip. The Dip is the title of the audiobook I recently listened to, and more about it at the end. So, in the dip stage, nothing seems to be going right. The world is not a happy place now. Basically, it's when you feel that you are stuck at the wrong place, doing something you don't want to, although it was not the case earlier, and it's like nothing is going as you predicted. And now, the next thought, I should quit. But remember where we started? You should never quit. You will be a failure. But you are now exhausted and the process is becoming painful. Most people quit at this time. And more often than not, most people do so in a state of panic. And this is what we should not do. Panic quitting is not the right thing to do. And in this case, the society supports you very well that don't quit. And then there is a small proportion of people who stick through the dip, and not only stick, but they actually progress and get to the other side. And that is never easy. Not saying it's always tough and difficult, but it's not easy. But there is definitely a way to the other side. And here the author says that dip creates scarcity, scarcity creates value. Scarcity because most people quit, and creates value because it increases the demand of the people with those set of skills. I am obviously making this video inspired by that audiobook, but I will be focusing more on the parts that felt completely true to me. Now, there is something called as strategic quitting mentioned in the book, and you should never quit seems to be wrong in this case. Strategic quitting is when we plan to quit things beforehand after properly analyzing things. Now, when I say analyzing things, it seems to be a very common thing to say and it's easy said than done. But I think it's more important than we realize to actually reflect upon something, looking at the resources we have, the kind of environment we are living in, and the progress we have made till date. And not just outside. Pay attention to what's going inside. The progress doesn't need to be like this, but preferably it should also not look like this, a very static line. According to the author, people who are in the dip stage and those who quit strategically is the right thing to do. What do you feel? I also feel that it's right because sticking with the dip just because quitting seems to be difficult. And why quitting seems to be difficult? Because it's hard to accept that doing this thing or doing this thing the way I am doing is not working for me. It feels as if I failed at something. But in reality, you actually got yourself out of something at the right time. Moreover, it was just becoming mentally exhausting and nothing else was happening. This is called strategic quitting. Now you can direct your energy into something else, or you can try doing it some other way. But what's the case with most people is perfectly put together by the author in the book. People quit when it's painful and stick when they can't be bothered to quit. Now, giving up and quitting are not the same. Quitting can be called as giving up when it's done again under a state of panic and just because things are hard. If that's not the case, you can always quit. At the end, it's you who will decide whether you want to travel on the same route, a different route, or a different dream destination. I'm sure you have a lot of dreams. Never stop dreaming. Whatever is the thing you are fighting for, just don't get into believing that you can't. And most people feel that. And unfortunately, there is an increasing sense of lack of belief in one's own self. And if this is forcing you to quit, think again. And there are not many straight lines in life, so enjoy the ups and downs. If this video was worth watching, then let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notifications. It helps the channel grow and the watermelon also. Thanks a lot. If you also want to listen to the audiobook The Dip by Seth Godin, then the link is in the description below. It's really short and a nice audiobook by an amazing author, obviously. So the link is in the description. Please have a look.